and welcome to July 2023, and our workshop is going to be featuring one of the stained glass die sets from the festive collection by Sue Wilson for 2023, and I'm going to be using, or we are going to be using, the stained glass candle. Now there are 5 other designs in the range, and the nice thing about it is that they all mix and match, so they all have like a separate outer frame which all fits in with another one, and the centers all fit in with another one. So I think that makes a much more versatile die selection. And certainly for this one, and if you may recall, if you were with us in the June workshop, we couldn't decide whether July was a bit too early for Christmas, so we're going to do a bit of both. We're going to make 2 cards. One is going to be Christmas and one is not. So let me just go through what you should have in your pack. You should have obviously the die set. Now I have opened this, so you've got all of these lovely dies to work with, and we will be doing those, so pop those to one side. You've got a little embellishment pack, and inside that you will have found the blank white piece with the words best wishes, which hopefully you will have had a chance to put together. And then you'll find 3 of the stitched daisy blossoms with some little centres, which again I've asked you to just pop together so that they're all ready to go. So that's your embellishment pack for there. Then you'll have little scrap pieces of card, really, a satin red, ruby red, and also a holly green, which is just, again, you've got far too much, you don't need all of that at all, but that's just for the Christmas card. You've got 2 card blanks and envelopes. Now they're both 5x7, but one of them is side folding along the long edge, and the other one is more what you call top folding, but the folders along the short edge. Okay, so they are 2 different forms of a 5x7 card with the envelopes. And then you've got what I classed as 4 pieces of coloured card, but it's not truthfully like that. You've got, let's go through there, you should have, oh, I can't pick it up, hold on a second, let's grab something that I can pick it up from. Right, you've got a piece of silver mirror card, you've got a piece of lilac mirror card, you've got a piece of midnight blue pearlized card, and a piece of white card. Okay, so that's your 4 pieces of card. And then you've also got, which I've already trimmed down, you've got one of the, I'm just trying to think, I think it's called Soft Sage, and that is one of the slightly shiny cards there, and that one has already been embossed. Okay, so that's all your bits and pieces all together. So let's make life easy, and let's start off already with the sage green card bit here. Take all my bits together. I'm going to use my side folding with the short edge, okay, so it's the one with the short edge that would open like that, or top folding, whichever you like to call it, but we're going to use it that way round. And we also need our lilac piece of card, so that's a lilac. Okay, we'll need our embellishments, they're going to go with it, so we'll pop those to one side. And then of course we need our die set, and for the first card we're going to take the largest die number 1. As always, we call our dies number 1 from the outside, 2, 3, 4 and 5 in this case. So I'm going to take die number 1 and die number 4, which is the inner one there. Okay, so just need those 2. So pop these to one side. So to start off with, we're going to take our piece of embossed green card, and we're going to trim that to 16.5 centimetres by 11.5 centimetres, or if you're working in inches, 6.5 inches by 4.5. So a nice easy one. And I'm just going to put that directly down onto my card front. So that will give me a little bit of a border. So just pop that in there, either which way. Just make sure it's as straight as I can. Okay, so that's our card front already done. Pop that to one side. Then I'm going to take, and I'm sorry about the shine of it all, I'm going to take my lilac piece of card and I'm going to place my outer die, so die number 1, onto it. Now, if I'm being very frugal, I can get away with using this piece here for another card, but you can, obviously you could just go like that if you prefer, but because I'm being frugal, I can just about get that in from top to bottom like that. And then I'm going to take my second piece here and pop that one into, as much as I can, the centre. Now, it's not too crucial because we haven't got to line this up with anything as such. So I'm just going to pop that down. And I think that's more or less in place. We're just giving ourselves a frame there. So I'm going to run that through my machine. And give me a chance to do this one probably both ways because it's quite intricate. And we're going through, when we're going through a piece of shiny card, don't forget we've got like 2 layers, so it might need to just be turned around. So I'm going to just check, take that out. I think we're fine actually, so that's good. So let's carefully take that off. As I say, we've got that bit for another time, which is quite nice. Just scoot these bits off of here so that we've got a clean surface to start off with again. Got nice little stars that come out of that. Look at these 2 little stars here as well. You can't see them. There's a nice lot of little stars. So let's just take that off there. And again, another little bit of card. Getting more and more frugal in my old age, aren't I? So when we remove this, we've got a lovely pattern, which we just need to poke out those final little bits from. And as you see, the stars that come out from here can make sort of shaker cards or an extra little pattern. So it's quite nice. You've got a lot of different choice there. Make sure we get all the bits out. That's all okay, I think. Those little stars over there. Yeah, I think they're about done. So there's all our frame all nicely done. So you can see from the other side sometimes some of the bits that need to come out. So that's all that. Now just transfer these bits out of the way. And then I'm simply going to take some foam and put that onto the back of my card here. I'm going to use some of the foam that I can cut up as I wish. So I'm just going to cut some little slithers on there. And then just pop this onto the back. Like so. And just sort of gives that frame a little chance to sit up a bit higher, which I think is nice, so that you can actually see that it's a kind of like a floating frame, I suppose you would call it, but just so that we can pop that on the back there. And just remove these pieces. That, and then I'm going to pop a little bit of glue onto this for 2 reasons. One is breaking the sort of static, but also I am wanting to give a little bit more of a hold because I'm going onto a slightly shiny surface. I'm going to pop that more or less into the middle as much as I can, like that. Then I'm going to take my sentiments, the best wishes, and I'm going to pop that into the centre. Got a bit of sticky on there, which I don't want. I'm going to put that straight down flat because I've got a lot of movement going on and dimension going on with my frame, so I'm not going to need to put that on more foam onto there. Then I'm simply going to take my flowers, bend up the leaves, the petals a little bit, but you don't have to, and then I'm going to put these two here on this corner, and then the other one up in the other corner. And if you look at it, I think it's really a bit of a sort of an optical illusion, really. Let's see if I can show you, but you'll be able to see when you're doing yours that when you've got your card, because you're finished, hey, how quick was that? If you look at the reflection, can you see that it now looks as if you've got a second flower there, but that is in the darker purple, yeah, or the darker lilac, I should say. So that's your first card. That's going to make that into any occasion, depending on whether you put flowers or you might want to put something completely different. Obviously, that's entirely up to you. If you wanted to, you could make this into much more of a masculine card by changing the colours. Sentiment can stay the same, but cut this out into perhaps a darker colour maybe, or whatever colour, and then put maybe balloons or stars, more stars that you've got here, a number in the centre. It really could be for any occasion. So I think that that's quite a nice one to start off with. So that's your first card done. And that clearly is not the Christmas card. But let's now get on to making our beautiful Christmas card as well. So this is what we're aiming for with our Christmas card. Now there is a little bit of a choice because you do have the different colourways of doing it. I'm going to do it in this way, but you could do it in a slightly different way. That's entirely up to you. So I will leave that part of it to you because it's as you go along that you can decide which one you want to do with that one. So let's now get us started with all our bits and pieces for that. I just have to put this one carefully to one side that I've just done. So just bring in all up my pieces back in again. Make sure I've got everything here. So we need our die sets. And to start off with, take all the bits out of this one. Hold on. See what I've got? You must remove those little bits because otherwise you'll find that those bits won't. There'll be the one bit that won't come out very well. So let me just do that. Little star up here. Goodness me. Go. Right, I think we're done after all of that. So our next piece we need is die number 1, die number 3, so we're missing one, die number 3, and die number 4. Okay, so those 4 together, 1, 3 and 4, which is for the next card. We will be needing those, but not just yet. So we've got our side folding. Now it's quite important that this card is actually done on a side folding basis because otherwise it just doesn't work very well. So a side fold for this along the long side, so what I'd call your normal card really. So that's that one. And then I've got my white piece and my silver piece and my blue piece. Okay, so I'm going to go with blue to start off with. So this is Midnight Blue. Just clear those bits out of the way. Midnight Blue, can't see that very well, but yeah, that's where we're going. And I'm going to pop it on this way this time. So I've got my die number 1. I've got my die number 3, which clearly has to be a little bit even if we can all the way around. And then die number 4, which is going to go into the centerpiece there. Okay, so I'm going to tape those together. Let's go if I was doing it properly. Making a mess of it. Try not to make a mess of it, of course. I think that's okay. So I'm going to run that through my machine, making sure that I've not got any little bits left on my card, on my base. And run that through like so. So this is going to be my outer frame that I'm doing now. Now you can, if you wish, do this in silver as well, deciding on which frame that you actually wanted. Just checking that all the parts are done. I think they are. See if I can poke them out from here instead. Yeah, they all seem fairly loose, so that's okay. So that gives us our beautiful frame. You can see lovely design there. Okay, so let's just scoop all these pieces. Now again, I'm going to keep that middle piece, but not necessarily for this card. But if you keep all the waste, you can actually make, with another card blank, you could just make another card, but just in a different colourway. So I'm not going to use that piece, but it's worthwhile to keep. Now, just excuse the bashing. That does make life easier to do that for me. So let's just that. Whoops. So that's that. You can see this. Just take all these little bits out. So again, just make sure that all the bits are pushed through. Just here. The one thing to make crucially sure is that you have pushed them out, but that they have all cut through, because it's just, I'm sure we've done it, a devil's job to try and push them through when they're not quite done. You can spend more time doing that than if you grabbed another piece of card and just did it again, to be honest, but this time perhaps turning it if necessary. So it depends on really your machine, to be honest, but do just check that it's all gone through, and then you should be fine. Let's just pull those pieces off. Okay, so that's that one done. Then I'm going to take my silver card, and I'm going to take for my silver card die number 2, which is that outer piece, and I'm going to bring back in die number 4. Seems to be the most popular die we've got. So I'm going to turn my card around this way to put it on, and the reason being that that's when I said you have got enough card here to do another frame if you wanted, and then decide whether you wanted your frame to be a silver or a blue one. So there is choices, okay, but I'm going to do it around that way. Best if I have the cutting edge. They're so fine, aren't they? Cutting edge around there. So in order to do this, I'm going to tape this down, but the one thing that I don't need to worry about too much is if this centerpiece is completely square. It's not crucial. I will get it as much as I possibly can, but it isn't crucial. I'll show you why in a minute. So I'm now going to run that one through as well. And that's just going to give you a frame. As I say, you've got enough left over there to do another card there if you wish. Taking my tape off. Now you will need both of these pieces, so you've given yourself a small frame and you've also given yourself a blank piece. You will need both of those pieces, okay? So let's scoop this all out of the way as well. So our frame that we've just cut, our silver frame, is going to go behind, so that what it does is just show that silver in there. Can you see where I mean there? Whereas if you did it the other way round, you could have a silver piece. Just grab that. So there would be your silver piece that you would cut out, and you might then put your blue frame behind it. Oh, can't see that one quite so well. So you have got a choice of which way you might want to do it. If I bring this in, you would see the difference. That's with your blue frame and then silver, and then that one is with your silver frame but with a bit of blue. Makes it look quite different, doesn't it? But it's entirely up to you. I'm going to still go with my blue, but that's how we could do it. So we do need to put some glue onto here. Now I'm just going to go around the edges here, just as close as I can to the little holes, and then this very small inner one. Okay, and then I'm going to put that down on there, as we don't want a lot of movement, so I'm looking at the center aperture to line it up, if I possibly can, and then just press down. And again, you're going pearlized card onto shiny card, so the tendency can be for it to slip and slide a little bit, so you just want to sort of use it as little as possible, if you see what I mean. So now let's get our card base. So this, as we said, was the side folding card. Carefully pick that up, and I'm going to place that as if I was going to be actually doing my card here now, and I want to cut an aperture in my card. So the way that I'm going to do that is line that up to where I'm going to be placing it in the end, and then just mark the corners with a pencil on the front of my card. Okay, because then I can take die, popular die number 4, pop that over those pencil marks, tape that down, and then obviously open my card up, otherwise I'll be cutting a hole through the whole lot, and then pop that through my card like that. Hold on a minute. Right, let's see if we can get it through like that. I think we can. Oh. Plan B, because I messed that one up nicely, didn't I? Hold on a second, I've got it caught. So don't do what I'm doing and get your thing caught. We will resume with that in 1 second.